So we can visualize fractions using different shapes. I have a number line here that shows us our common fractions 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4, and I've drawn arrows from each of those fractions to show us how they're represented in our shape. So this section of 1/4 is represented right here, and both of them together, or 2/4, make up 1/2. And so on and so on. Now I can use a rectangle as well to do the same thing. Again, I have my common fractions here, and I'm just drawing parallels to the different shapes or different parts of this shape. So this shape is broken up into fourths, and here's 1/4 on my number line, here's 1/4 in my shape. And 2/4, which equals 1/2, well, that's 2/4 in my shape, and that's also 1/2 of my shape. 3/4 on my number line, I can count up 3 out of 4 on my shape. We can use lots of different types of shapes. The main point here is that in each section that the shape is broken up into, they're all the same size and area. So for example, this triangle is broken up into halves, and each of these halves is the same. This hexagon is broken up into 6 pieces, and each of those 6 pieces is the same. All of these triangles are the same. And this square is broken up into fourths, and each of the fourths are the same size. This is what's called fair shares, when each piece is fair. So here's an example of a shape that's broken up into fair shares and not fair shares. Both of these are broken up into fourths. However, this one is actually a representation of fourths. This one's not, and you can see it's because it's not fair shares. So all of these shapes, all these pieces here aren't equal to each other. They're not equivalent. All of these pieces, the fourths, are equal to each other, so they're broken up into fair shares, and we can use this to diagram out a fraction. Now we're also going to be talking about today, what are pictographs? Well, a pictograph is a graph that uses pictures. So here's an example. People in Mr. Hubler's fan club, all right? And in year 1, I had 1 person. And it was just myself. I wasn't that popular year 1. Year 2, though, I had myself and, well, I brought in a mirror, so maybe that's a lie, but still I counted it as 2 people. So in year 2, I had 2 people. And year 3, I had 3 people. And that was just, again, me taking selfies of myself in the mirror, so I counted that as 2 extra people, whatever. Anyway, you get the point that this graph doesn't actually have bars. We're not talking about a bar graph or a line graph or anything. What we're actually using to represent the information are these little pictures. And you can see that they're not anything special. I just drew stick figures. So that is sufficient for a pictograph. Now, if I was talking about a graph that was representing basketballs, then I might actually use basketballs or footballs or a picture that is representative of what the graph is talking about. So that's pictographs.